Hello everyone, Red Lip here. Las Vegas, the city where buffets once reigned supreme as the ultimate value proposition, drawing millions to experience endless culinary indulgence at prices that defied logic. But here's the uncomfortable truth about Vegas dining in 2024. The golden age of affordable buffets has been slowly dying a painful death, replaced by premium experiences with eye-watering price tags that would make even high rollers wince. Today, we're venturing beyond the neon lights to the Nevada-California border, where Buffalo Bills Resort at Primm Valley promises something increasingly rare: a weekend buffet that might actually justify its existence. We've driven the full hour south from the Strip, navigated the desert highways, and stood in those interminable lines so you don't have to waste your precious Vegas vacation time on what could be another disappointment. The burning question is this: can a buffet operating only on weekends, located in the middle of nowhere, possibly deliver value in an era where even mediocre strip buffets demand $60 plus per person? Let me paint you the full picture of what we discovered at Buffalo Bill's Buffet. From the shocking sticker price that nearly sent us running for the exit, to the military discount that completely transformed the value equation. We're talking about a place that charges $44 per person at full price. Yes, you heard that correctly, for what they position as an all-you-can-eat experience in Primm. But before you close this video in disgust, there's a fascinating twist to this story, involving veterans benefits, slot machine wins, and ultimately paying just $6 per person for unlimited dining. Today's review will dissect every station, evaluate each dish with professional culinary standards, and determine whether this remote buffet deserves your attention or should be permanently crossed off your Vegas area dining list. We'll explore why the so-called prime rib turned out to be the biggest lie since fresh casino sushi, which dessert item scored an almost perfect 9.9 rating, and how strategic discount stacking can transform a terrible value into something approaching reasonable. More importantly, I'll share the exact methodology for securing the same discounts we received, turning what should be highway robbery into something you might actually consider on your next California-Vegas road trip. Let's start with the shocking reality of weekend pricing at Buffalo Bills, a number so audacious it makes Wynn's buffet look almost reasonable by comparison. Walking up to that register after waiting in a serpentine line filled with hopeful weekend warriors, the cashier delivered the gut punch. $88 for 2 people. That's $44 per person for a buffet, operating in what's essentially a truck stop casino an hour from any legitimate Vegas dining destination. Even with a buy one get one free coupon clutched desperately in hand, the initial calculation still demanded $44 for 2 people. But here's where Buffalo Bill's Military Appreciation Program becomes genuinely noteworthy. Presenting military ID doesn't just get you a perfunctory thank you for your service and free parking. They upgrade veterans to platinum status immediately, a tier that typically requires serious gambling dedication to achieve, unlocking an instant 25% discount on all dining. This isn't the insulting 5% discount or free soft drink that most casinos throw at veterans like table scraps. We're talking about real, substantial savings that stack with other promotions, transforming that horrifying $88 into $66. Then with the coupon, down to $22 total. No tax either. Whether it's included in the price or Primm operates in some mysterious tax-free zone remains unclear. But the bottom line stays mercifully unchanged. Factor in the $15 of free slot play that came with the rewards card, which converted to $10 in actual winnings, and our final cost reached the almost unbelievable sum of $6 per person. Now let's navigate through what this drastically discounted price actually purchases in terms of culinary offerings. The layout follows standard Vegas buffet architecture: central hot stations flanked by dessert and salad bars, with an ice cream station attempting to add perceived value, starting with desserts, because life's too short not to eat dessert first. The selection immediately reveals both ambition and execution challenges. The tiramisu, surprisingly, emerges as the undisputed champion of the entire buffet experience, delivering authentic Italian flavors with properly soaked ladyfingers, rich mascarpone cream, and that essential coffee-forward finish that separates legitimate tiramisu from cafeteria imposters. Each bite reveals careful layering technique, with moisture levels maintained throughout, avoiding that common buffet tragedy of dried-out edges and soggy centers. The texture achieves that perfect balance between structure and creaminess, earning a remarkable 9.9 rating that seems almost impossible given the overall buffet quality. The apple pie, by contrast, demonstrates everything wrong with mass-produced desserts. A gelatinous filling that jiggles disturbingly when moved, lacking any semblance of actual apple texture or natural fruit flavor. That sexy, curved lattice crust might photograph beautifully for Instagram, but it can't disguise the bizarre jelly-like consistency that would benefit enormously from proper heating. Moving to the salad station, we encounter the eternal buffet paradox. Why would anyone seeking healthy options choose unlimited dining? The offerings are competent but uninspiring. Standard mixed greens, predictable toppings, industrial dressings in squeeze bottles that haven't been updated since 1995. The fruit selection shows more promise, with fresh berries including strawberries, blueberries, and raspberries, though the empty green grape container suggests either popularity or poor restocking protocols. These items serve their purpose as palate cleansers between meat courses, but nobody's driving to Prim for the produce selection. The main hot food stations reveal the true tragedy of Buffalo Bill's current iteration. The carving station, proudly advertising prime rib, delivers what can only be described as cafeteria-grade roast beef masquerading in prime rib's clothing. The meat arrives gray, overcooked, and with the texture of wet cotton. A far cry from the beautifully marbled, perfectly pig prime rib that once graced legitimate Vegas buffets. This isn't just disappointing. It's borderline fraudulent to label this protein catastrophe as prime rib when it lacks any of the marbling, tenderness, or beefy depth that defines the cut. The turkey performs significantly better, especially when drowning in gravy that masks any dryness issues inherent to buffet poultry. Carved reasonably thick and maintaining some structural integrity, it represents one of the few proteins worth consuming here. The pork loin medallions present another study in overcooking crimes. Circular pucks of protein, so moisture-deprived they seem almost waterproof. Even soaking in their own jus can't resurrect these victims of excessive heat, though the fatty edges provide fleeting moments of porky pleasure. Asian offerings include General Tso's chicken that commits the cardinal sin of soggy breading, losing any textural contrast between coating and meat. The fried rice mysteriously carries fishy undertones, despite no seafood ingredients listed, while the white rice achieves that special buffet consistency of simultaneously overcooked and underdone. Italian selections fare no better, with lasagna that tastes suspiciously like it emerged from a can rather than any Italian grandmother's kitchen. The pasta lacks proper sauce integration, creating dry pockets of naked noodles that no amount of added marinara can properly resurrect. The Mexican station offers competent, if uninspired, options. Spanish rice, refried beans, and chicken adobo that at least maintains some moisture and flavor. These items won't offend, but won't inspire either, serving as safe harbors in a sea of culinary mediocrity. The fried food section provides occasional bright spots, particularly the fried shrimp when fresh from the fryer. These arrive properly crispy with sweet shrimp meat inside, though timing is critical, as they rapidly deteriorate under heat lamps. Crab rangoon and pot stickers round out the deep-fried offerings, delivering exactly what you'd expect from frozen appetizers given the deep fryer treatment. Neither excels nor particularly fails, occupying that middle ground of acceptable bar food that shouldn't cost $44 to access. The complete absence of crab legs represents a crushing blow for buffet enthusiasts, who remember when even modest Vegas buffets included some form of seafood. This omission alone disqualifies Buffalo Bills from serious buffet consideration, regardless of price point. Beverage service includes standard fountain drinks and surprisingly decent coffee, both included in the base price rather than generating additional revenue through upcharges. This represents one of the few genuine value additions, especially considering many competitors now charge separately for anything beyond water. The ice cream station features soft serve with both waffle and regular cones available, plus standard toppings for sundae construction. While nothing exceptional, unlimited ice cream adds perceived value, particularly for families with children who judge buffets primarily by dessert availability. Service elements deserve recognition, with plates regularly refreshed and stations generally maintained despite weekend crowds. Staff members work efficiently, if not enthusiastically, keeping the basics functional, even if fine dining service standards remain light years away. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: value proposition at various price points. At the full $44 price, this buffet represents criminal overcharging for what amounts to cafeteria-quality food with delusions of grandeur. Even Denny's would provide superior meal quality at half the price, with the added benefit of made-to-order preparation rather than heat lamp roulette. The $33 veteran discount price still feels exploitative, especially considering Golden Corral delivers better quality at consistently lower prices. At $22, anger subsides to mere disappointment. You're not getting actively robbed, just mildly taken advantage of. This price point makes it comparable to casual dining chains, though those at least cook your food fresh, rather than letting it desiccate under warming lights. The $11 price point, achieved through maximum discount stacking, finally approaches reasonable territory for what you actually receive. At this level, expectations align with reality. You're getting exactly what you pay for, nothing more or less. Our ultimate $6 per person cost transforms the experience entirely, making even mediocre food acceptable when practically free. This price point actually beats most Vegas food courts while providing unlimited quantity, even if quality remains suspect. The comparison to UNLV's campus buffet becomes particularly relevant here, where $8 purchases surprisingly decent cafeteria food, with beverages and even Starbucks coffee included. That academic dining delivers better value than a casino buffet speaks volumes about Buffalo Bill's current state of decline. Strategic recommendations for potential visitors require careful consideration of circumstances and alternatives. If you're already stopping at Prim for gas or restroom breaks and can achieve significant discounts, the buffet becomes marginally defensible. The key items worth consuming include the tiramisu, fried shrimp when fresh, turkey with ample gravy, and perhaps the Mexican station offerings. Avoid the fake prime rib at all costs, skip the Italian section entirely, and don't waste stomach space on the salad bar unless desperately needing vegetables. For Vegas visitors specifically seeking buffet experiences, numerous superior alternatives exist at comparable or better price points. The Forum Shop's Bacchanal remains the gold standard for those willing to invest in premium experiences, while South Point Seafood Buffet on Fridays delivers actual seafood at reasonable prices. Even Silverton's Weekend Buffet, while modest, provides better execution and value than Buffalo Bill's current offering. The Rio's closure of their legendary Carnival World Buffet created a value vacuum that Buffalo Bills clearly cannot fill, despite geographical advantages. The military discount program deserves genuine praise as one of the most generous veteran benefits in Nevada gaming. Achieving instant platinum status typically requires either significant gambling investment or annual fee payments that dwarf any dining savings. This benefit alone might justify obtaining a player's card for eligible veterans, even if you never plan to gamble. The discount applies to all food outlets throughout the property, potentially saving hundreds annually for frequent visitors. Comparing Buffalo Bill's to its own history reveals just how far this once respectable buffet has fallen. Longtime Prim visitors remember when weekend crab legs were standard. Prime rib was actually prime, and $40 bought genuine value rather than profound disappointment. The decision to operate only weekends suggests financial struggles that manifest in cost-cutting measures throughout the food program. When a buffet can't afford to serve actual prime rib while charging premium prices, fundamental business model problems exist beyond mere execution issues. The psychological impact of initial sticker shock cannot be understated. Starting any dining experience with price-induced anger creates an uphill battle for satisfaction. Even with ultimate costs reaching just $6 through creative discount stacking, the journey to that price point leaves lasting negative impressions. For content creators and food bloggers, Buffalo Bills provides excellent material for what went wrong narratives about Vegas dining evolution. The contrast between marketing promises and delivered reality offers rich territory for exploring truth in advertising within the gaming industry. The tiramisu anomaly deserves special investigation. How does a buffet failing at basic proteins produce near-perfect Italian dessert? This single item suggests potential competence lurking somewhere in the kitchen, making overall failure even more puzzling. Perhaps the dessert station operates under different management or sources from external suppliers who maintain quality standards. Whatever the explanation, this lone bright spot makes the surrounding mediocrity even more frustrating for diners seeking consistency. The weekend-only operation model creates additional challenges beyond food quality. Crowds concentrate into narrow windows, creating long lines and depleted stations that further degrade the experience. Staff members, possibly working limited schedules, lack the rhythm and efficiency that comes from daily operation. This creates a vicious cycle where poor execution drives away customers, reducing revenue and forcing further cuts. The location factor cannot be ignored when evaluating Buffalo Bill's place in the Vegas dining ecosystem. Primm exists primarily as a fuel stop and state-line casino destination, not a culinary destination worthy of special trips. The captive audience of road trippers and gasoline seekers enables pricing that wouldn't survive 5 minutes in competitive Vegas markets. This geographic monopoly explains the audacious $44 price point for food that barely justifies $15. Environmental factors also impact the experience, from desert dust infiltrating the property to the general wear visible throughout the aging facility. Buffalo Bill's resort shows its age in ways that nostalgic charm can't overcome, creating an atmosphere of decline rather than vintage Vegas appeal. The buffet space itself feels trapped in the 1990s, with dated decor and layout choices that modern properties abandoned decades ago. Even basic updates like contemporary serving vessels or improved lighting could dramatically enhance perception without massive investment. For international visitors specifically, Buffalo Bill's represents everything wrong with American buffet culture: quantity without quality, marketing over substance. This is not the American dining experience worth documenting for Instagram or describing to friends back home. The free beverage inclusion, while appreciated, can't compensate for fundamental food quality failures. No amount of complimentary coffee or unlimited soda makes wet sock beef or jellified apple pie acceptable. Health and safety observations reveal adequate but unexceptional standards, with basic temperature maintenance and reasonable cleanliness. Nothing suggests active food safety violations, just the slow decline of a once proud operation coasting on former reputation. The glove dispensers at stations represent post-pandemic additions that some customers appreciate, for hygiene theater if nothing else. These small touches can't mask larger systemic issues, but at least demonstrate minimal effort toward contemporary expectations. Ultimately, Buffalo Bill's buffet exists as a cautionary tale about the death of value dining in Greater Las Vegas. When military discounts and gambling wins are required to make pricing tolerable, fundamental business model problems demand addressing. The property would benefit from either committing to genuine quality worth premium pricing or accepting reality and pricing accordingly. This middle ground of charging luxury prices for cafeteria food fools nobody and satisfies even fewer. For those who must experience Buffalo Bills, timing and discount strategy become paramount for avoiding financial regret. Military veterans should absolutely leverage their platinum status benefits, while civilians need multiple discount sources to reach acceptable price points. Weekend mornings typically offer the freshest food and shortest lines, though fresh remains highly relative in this context. Avoiding peak mealtimes reduces crowd stress, but increases likelihood of encountering dishes that have occupied warming trays for dangerous durations. The slot machine strategy that reduced our cost deserves brief mention for those comfortable with gambling. Using free play promotions to offset dining costs can work, but requires discipline to avoid losing more than you save. Our $10 win from $15 free play represents above-average results that shouldn't be expected consistently. Most visitors would benefit more from simply avoiding the buffet entirely rather than gambling to justify its cost. Local alternatives for those committed to Primm area dining include the various fast food options that at least deliver predictable quality. The convenience store offerings, while basic, provide better value than the buffet at standard pricing. The comparison to Golden Corral throughout this review isn't accidental. That chain represents the quality floor Buffalo Bills currently fails to meet. When a shopping mall chain buffet outperforms a casino operation, fundamental reassessment becomes necessary. The absence of any seafood beyond frozen fried shrimp particularly stings for those remembering Vegas Buffet's former glory. Even modest crab legs would transform the value proposition, though current pricing suggests this addition remains economically unfeasible. The tragic irony is that Buffalo Bill's location could be advantageous if properly leveraged. Capturing California Vegas traffic with genuinely good food at fair prices would create a destination rather than desperate last resort. Instead, the current operation feels like extracting maximum revenue from captive audiences before inevitable closure. This short-term thinking destroys any possibility of building loyal customer base or positive reputation. The staff members deserve recognition for maintaining composure despite serving food they must know disappoints guests. Their professionalism in the face of obvious product inadequacy reflects well on them, if not their employer. The final verdict requires nuanced consideration of individual circumstances and available alternatives. For military veterans able to stack discounts, occasional visits might prove acceptable if expectations remain firmly grounded. Civilians paying anything approaching full price should run, not walk, to literally any alternative dining option. The $6 price point we ultimately achieved represents the absolute maximum this buffet deserves. The tiramisu alone almost justifies a visit if you're already at Prim and can access substantial discounts. This single dessert achievement hints at potential greatness that makes surrounding failure even more frustrating. For Vegas buffet enthusiasts seeking value, South Point's regular buffet, and especially their Friday seafood night, offer superior experiences. Station Casinos properties like Green Valley Ranch provide better food at similar prices, with significantly superior atmosphere. Even Arizona Charlie's, hardly a luxury destination, delivers more honest value than Buffalo Bill's current operation. The Fremont Street Casino buffets, while modest, at least price according to quality rather than geographic monopoly. The weekend-only schedule means planning ahead becomes essential for anyone considering a visit. Calling ahead to confirm operation prevents wasted drives. Though, honestly, a wasted drive might be preferable to the actual experience. The lasting memory from Buffalo Bill's won't be any particular dish, but rather the overwhelming sense of decline. This buffet serves as a memorial to better times, rather than a viable contemporary dining option. Perhaps management hopes nostalgia and geographic convenience will sustain operations indefinitely. This strategy might work short-term, but guarantees continued deterioration without fundamental changes. The property would benefit from either closing the buffet entirely or completely reimagining it as a basic, honestly priced option. Pretending to offer prime rib while serving shoe leather insults customer intelligence and destroys any remaining credibility. For content creators documenting Vegas dining, Buffalo Bill's provides excellent negative example material. This is how not to operate a buffet in 2024. From pricing through execution to basic food quality, the contrast between the $44 asking price and $6 actual value perfectly encapsulates modern Vegas's pricing dysfunction. When discounts of 85% are required to reach fair value, something has gone fundamentally wrong. Our experience suggests Buffalo Bill's buffet exists primarily as a tax write-off or loss leader for the casino. No rational business plan would sustainably operate this quality at these prices without ulterior motives. The free play redemption system that helped offset our costs represents the casino's actual priority: gambling revenue. Dining becomes merely another amenity to keep players on property, rather than genuine hospitality effort. This fundamental misalignment between stated purpose and actual priority dooms any possibility of improvement. Until management decides whether they're running a restaurant or casino amenity, mediocrity remains inevitable. For tourists planning Vegas trips, Buffalo Bill's shouldn't appear on any itinerary, unless ironic disappointment tourism appeals. The hour-long drive each way wastes precious vacation time, better spent at legitimate Vegas attractions. Even dedicated buffet completionists seeking to experience every Vegas area option should consider carefully. Some experiences add nothing positive to your culinary journey, and Buffalo Bill's firmly occupies this category. The most damning indictment might be that even at $6 per person, mild regret lingers. Not anger or outrage anymore, just quiet disappointment that even nearly free food can somehow disappoint. This review probably sounds harsh, but charging $44 for cafeteria food demands honest assessment. Buffalo Bill's current operation insults both customer intelligence and the proud history of Vegas buffets. The property has potential, decent location, captive audience, existing infrastructure, but squanders every advantage through poor execution. With genuine commitment to quality and honest pricing, Buffalo Bill's could become a worthwhile stop rather than a cautionary tale. Until that unlikely transformation occurs, save your money and memories for better options. Las Vegas offers too many genuine dining experiences to waste time on pretenders, charging premium prices for cafeteria mediocrity. For those who insist on trying Buffalo Bill's despite all warnings, remember the survival strategy: tiramisu, fresh fried shrimp, turkey with gravy, then escape quickly. Don't let curiosity about the fake prime rib tempt you. That way lies only disappointment and digestive regret. The true tragedy isn't that Buffalo Bill's fails, but that it fails while charging prices suggesting excellence. This disconnect between price and product represents everything wrong with modern Vegas's transformation from value destination to luxury aspiration. Gone are the days of loss leader buffets designed to keep gamblers fed and happy. Now we have cargo cult buffets that imitate the form while completely missing the substance that made Vegas dining legendary. Buffalo Bill's stands as monument to this decline, a cautionary tale dressed in weekend-only operations and $44 price tags. Perhaps someday management will recognize this unsustainable trajectory and correct course, though current evidence suggests otherwise. Until that redemption arrives, if ever, treat Buffalo Bill's buffet as historical curiosity rather than dining destination. Document its decline for posterity, but don't sacrifice your vacation budget or stomach space on this shadow of former glory. Our final rating, considering every factor from food quality through value proposition, 3.5 out of 10. That half point exists solely because of the inexplicably excellent tiramisu that deserves better surroundings than this culinary graveyard. For context, gas station sushi rates a solid 4, making Buffalo Bill's achievement even more impressively awful. This is what happens when geographic monopoly meets management indifference and produces $44 disappointment. Friends, Vegas visitors, buffet enthusiasts, lend me your ears. Skip Buffalo Bill's, unless you're a masochist or documentary filmmaker. Your vacation time, money, and stomach capacity deserve infinitely better than this desperate cash grab masquerading as dining. The search for value buffets in Greater Vegas continues, though each closure and degradation makes success increasingly unlikely. Perhaps we're witnessing the final death throes of an era, replaced by celebrity chef restaurants and $15 cocktails. If so, Buffalo Bill's won't be remembered as noble last stand, but rather ignoble surrender to mediocrity. This isn't how the Vegas buffet era should end, not with $44 cafeteria food, but with dignity intact. Until we eat again, this is Red Lip saying, choose wisely, discount aggressively, and never accept fake prime rib at any price. Subscribe for more honest Vegas dining reviews. Hit that notification bell, and remember, friends don't let friends pay full price at Buffalo Bill's.